The Apple Watch Ultra line has undeniably become Apple's most premium and performance-oriented smartwatch series. It represents ruggedness, luxury, and high-end wearable tech designed for both adventure seekers and everyday users who want more. But as we approach the potential release of the Apple Watch Ultra 3, one thing has become very clear. Apple needs to make a major change. I've spent several weeks wearing the Ultra 2, and while there's a lot to admire, there's also one consistent flaw that's holding this incredible device back. If Apple doesn't fix this, it could be the reason many users, even loyal ones, hesitate to upgrade. Let's dive deep into what Apple has done right, what still feels underwhelming, and what they absolutely must address with the Apple Watch Ultra 3. This is the technology review deep dive you've been waiting for. What Apple got right with the Ultra series. Before we jump into the one major flaw, let's give credit where it's due. Apple has nailed several key elements with the Ultra series, especially with Ultra 2, and it's likely that most of these will carry over to the third generation. Design that demands attention. The Ultra series looks stunning. The bold, squared-off titanium case, large 49mm display, rugged build quality, and distinct orange accents. It's a statement piece. Whether you're scaling a mountain or just walking into a meeting, this thing commands attention. Apple's decision to introduce a new black titanium finish with the Ultra 2 was subtle but smart. It adds versatility, giving the watch a more understated look while maintaining that premium edge. This finish is sleek, stealthy, and gives the Ultra a refined toughness that appeals to both tech fans and fashion-conscious users. Display that shines, literally. When you put on an Ultra, the first thing you'll probably notice is that gorgeous display. At 3,000 nits of peak brightness, it's hands down one of the most visible smartwatch displays in bright sunlight. Sure, other smartwatches have great screens too. Samsung, Huawei, Garmin. They've all made strides in this area. But the Apple Watch Ultra's display remains one of the most color-accurate, vibrant, and responsive in the industry. It feels effortless to navigate, even when you're outside in harsh lighting. watchOS at its best. The operating system plays a crucial role in any smartwatch, and watchOS continues to be a major strength for Apple. With its smooth animations, well-thought-out app ecosystem, and deep iPhone integration, it simply works. Navigating the watch feels second nature, and features like Apple Maps, offline Siri, and Apple Pay are seamless. Other brands have caught up in some ways, but Apple's polish and consistency give it the edge. You don't have to think about whether something will work. It just does. The elephant in the room: battery life. Now, here's the part that needs to change. If there's one area where Apple is consistently lagging, and we're not sugarcoating it here, it's battery life. You'd think that a larger, rugged smartwatch with more space inside would finally break the curse of Apple's notoriously short smartwatch battery. But no, the Ultra 2, despite all its size and power, still struggles to offer more than 2 days of battery life under normal use. Let's be honest, in 2025, that's not just disappointing, it's unacceptable for a premium smartwatch in this category. And no, this isn't about comparing it to Garmin or Polar devices that are specifically built for endurance athletes. Even compared to other Android smartwatches, like the OnePlus Watch 2 or Huawei Watch GT4, the Apple Watch Ultra falls short. Many of these alternatives deliver 4 to 7 days of usage while maintaining smart features, bright displays, and even higher refresh rates in some cases. Why battery life matters more than ever. You might be thinking, but I charge my watch every night anyway, so what's the big deal? Here's the thing. Apple built the Ultra to compete in a space that demands resilience, mobility, and independence. It's aimed at adventurers, outdoor enthusiasts, divers, and anyone who wants to be disconnected from the wall charger, not tethered to it. If you're on a long hike, traveling for business, or just living a busy life, you don't want your smartwatch nagging you with low battery alerts before you even hit day 3. Apple did improve low power mode, and the S9 chip does help efficiency a bit, but it still doesn't dramatically extend life in real-world use unless you really dumb down the functionality. This feels like a hardware limitation, or worse, a design choice. Is Apple holding back? There's a theory floating around in the Apple fan community, including on our own technology review Discord, that Apple could push better battery life, but chooses not to. Why? Because the current cycle of daily charging fits perfectly into Apple's product ecosystem, encourages fast charging habits, and keeps the Apple Watch within the tightly controlled boundaries of iOS behavior. It's a strange thought, but not impossible, especially when other smartwatches manage to deliver significantly longer battery without major sacrifices. If Apple wants the Ultra 3 to truly live up to its name, breaking that 2-day battery ceiling has to be a top priority. What the Ultra 3 needs to do differently. The good news? Apple still has time. The Ultra 3 hasn't been officially announced yet, and that gives them a chance to address user feedback from the Ultra 2. Here's what we think Apple absolutely must do to make the Ultra 3 a worthy upgrade. 1. Bigger battery plus smarter efficiency. Let's start with the obvious. Apple needs to either fit a larger battery or develop a more efficient chipset that doesn't just make Siri slightly faster, but actually extends real-world usage to at least 4 days. Anything less, and it's just an iterative release. 2. Give users power control. Let us really control how the watch consumes power, not just toggling low power mode. Give us granular options for screen refresh rate, sensor polling, app background activity, and animation preferences. Let serious users optimize for longevity. 4. Solar charging? Maybe. Okay, this one might be wishful thinking, but hear us out. The Ultra line is all about outdoor adventures. Why not integrate solar-assisted charging into the bezel or strap? Other rugged watch brands have done it with decent success. Even if it only gives a 10 to 15% boost, it's one more feature that makes the Ultra 3 feel like a serious upgrade. Still worth buying? Here's the dilemma. Even with the battery limitations, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 remains one of the best all-around smartwatches you can buy if you're in the Apple ecosystem. Final thoughts. This is Apple's moment. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 has the potential to be the most exciting wearable of the year. It could redefine what a high-end smartwatch can be if Apple is willing to break a few of its own habits. The design doesn't need a dramatic overhaul. The display is already best in class. watchOS continues to lead in user experience. But none of it matters if people are stuck with battery anxiety. We're excited, we're hopeful, but we're also cautious. Apple needs to make battery life a core focus for the Ultra 3, not just a background stat on the spec sheet. The bar is set, and the next move is theirs. What do you think? Should Apple push for longer battery life or stick to its current formula? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe to Technology Review for more deep dives like this.